Hello, hello. How's everybody doing? Happy Friday. We last time got our 3D models set up with our scene so they can drop via the channel part redundancies now, which is pretty cool. And I think today we're going to try, air quotes here, speed modeling. I'm going to see if we can make a chair real quick here. Still a little bit on the newer side with Blender, so hence the air quotes for speed. But yeah, we're gonna just jump right into it. I got Blender up already. I'm gonna make the window just a smidge bigger there. The need for speed. Yes. Hey, Prince. Oh, I guess it is all the way over. We'll see how fast we can knock it out. I'm thinking kind of the wood chair with the spindles on the back kind of style. So we might dip into geometry nodes for some of that. I think that might be fun, or just like an array copy kind of thing. So let's see if we can remember all the shortcuts here. We're gonna start with the seat, and I think I'm gonna start with a UV sphere maybe. Let's do a move. Nope. What's the move? G. And we want to snap to the Z axis, so I'm going to press the Z key to do that. We want to go into edit mode, so I hit tab. I want to scale it. Is that just us? Yeah, it's just us. Hey, how's it going? Oh man, it's been a long time since we saw each other in person. I guess the last I can tell, eh? That was like 2 or 3 years ago now. Been a bit. Good to see you. And hopefully we I enjoyed the hack and tells. I would love to see those come back when it's time. All right, so we want to scale, and we just want to scale in this direction. And I think we're gonna kind of just do something like this, and then we can kind of take it over from there. So last time we did Blender, we ran into, it was in edit mode, a way that I could, yeah, I think this is what I was doing. So if I hold Alt, and I can actually scale it this way, I think. Scale selected items. No. Maybe it was a edge thing. There's a way that you could move. Maybe it was move vertices. Hack and tells are tricky. There was no friction, and now there's friction everywhere. Yeah. It is definitely an uphill battle. I get that. I imagine just getting space for it now is probably trickier as well. I think you had quite a bit of help with that in the past. Where did that go? So there was like was it an object mode maybe? No, it had to be an edit mode. Convincing people to not be jerks. I laugh, but yeah. I mean, even like a local meetup or something would be fun too. The working from home, I enjoy it, but I definitely don't get out as much as I used to. And I think y'all have moved on from your office space too, so you're probably kind of in the same boat there too. Yeah, that would be cool. We'll have to figure something. Where did that go? Where did that go? There was a so if I select, I can't remember if it was an edge selection or if it was a. I thought I could just move vertices. Maybe it is just under move. Yeah, it is just under move. That's what it is. Okay, we got it now. We got it. So we're gonna hold that. We're on move. We're just gonna move the vertices up a little bit here, and come on, there we go. We're gonna select these and move these down just a little bit to give the chair a bit of a lip there. And then I think we go here and we pull that down just a bit. And if we hold Alt and Shift, that's how I'm selecting two like rows. Let's go into wireframe. It's not quite even. Not that I need it even, but I think you kind of don't want pokey things when you're sitting down on a chair. All right, I think we kind of will have this outside edge be the baseline, and we can. Whoop. I think this is how we're gonna roll. We'll just sort of flatten it out a little bit like that. Yeah, that's looking good. And then the center. So, whoop. Oh, I hit render, I think. There you go. All right. So that doesn't look too bad there. And then now, I don't know if we want like a circle chair. I mean, I guess the front can be kind of circular. We had thought about doing a chair like this a bit ago. And I think we had kind of tapered off these edges a little bit. And I think we probably want to do that again. We're going to do something like this. Oh, and there's also a symmetric edit. We want to enable symmetry in the y-axis. So the green is our y-axis. I believe we want to mirror in the y-axis. And there's also a topology mirror. From both sides of the mesh have matching unique topology. So I'm guessing it means that like depth-wise, those would match up too. Not 100% certain on that though. So I think we're gonna do something like these. And if we've got the move enabled, so we're not seeing the other side move there. So maybe it is the Z. No. All right, let's just turn them all on. There we go. Okay. So it's the X. The X is kind of confusing. Why would it be in the X direction? Yeah, so if we grab a couple, we can kind of do a symmetrical, pull each of the sides in a little bit. Your 6-year lease ended summer 2020 and did not seem prudent to renew it at that time. I would I can't imagine that is the wrong choice in any situation for the industry that you're in and and the situation that the world was kind of in. All right, let's do. Where do we want to cut it off? Maybe something like right here. Pull that in a bit, pull that up a bit. And you can see as I'm doing this, it's also doing it on the far side there too. Because we've got that symmetrical merge on, or the symmetrical, what do they call it? Mirror. All right, so that gives us, it bends in a little bit. And then I think we want to pull it in a little bit in the bottom here. And the reason we're in wireframe mode, so when we select a handful of vertices and edges, we're doing all of them like in that stack. And we press the XYZ in the corner here, and that puts us perfectly like top down. So I can select like these vertices here, and it's going to select everyone in line there. So if we would go and rotate, you can see we've got a couple of them selected. Even though top down it looks like maybe 1 or 2 we have selected, in reality we have like 3 selected here. So I think that I'm gonna actually pull these in just a smidge more. And I think that's gonna give us a pretty decent seat. I kind of like a little bit of round on the front. We might want to bring in the front a little bit actually. Maybe something like this we can pull in. Yeah, I'm kind of liking that. That feels good. So we've got our seat. We can adjust the bottom of the chair. The bottom of the chair is still not super flat. And so this is actually something that I learned. I think Prince keyed me in on this when we or Maxell in the chat. When we select an edge, if we hold Alt, I'm on Windows by the way. If we hold Alt, it lets us select everything in that line. So for this particular use case, it's sort of an invaluable shortcut or hotkey, I guess. There we go. So that's not bad. What do we do next? I guess the feet. Should we give the feet a shot? Before we get into the feet, so there's a. Let's go ahead and name this. This is the seat. We're gonna want to join this geometry eventually. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna create a new collection. It's part of our top level collection. This collection is just gonna be chair. I'm gonna move the seat into that collection. And I think just the way we were doing the materials and such in our React 3 fiber scene, we ran into this with the cup. So if anybody has channel points wherever we are, I guess down over here, drop those cups. We ran into a situation where we did the cup and the handle separately, and the way it was exported with the GLTF export, we actually got two separate pieces, and our physics was it only considers a single mesh, and since there were separate meshes, it was dropping the cups and the handle separately, which is rather amusing. But not terribly realistic or what we want to see. Can we put the rounding on here? Yeah, we want to shade smooth, I guess. Second, yeah, that looks a little bit better. We still got a little bit of edges right there. We can clean those up as we go though. Yeah. So anyways, we've got a collection. And I think when we go to export it, we're going to want to join the geometry together just to make our lives easier once we get into our React 3 fibers scene. So let's do some little spindles for legs. I think we will want to add in a new mesh. We can do, I guess we kind of want a cylinder. And we can then scale our cylinder, not rotate. Oh, scale, yep, we're good. We want to scale. Can we scale in two directions at the same time? I'm looking at my keys on the bottom here. Can we do hold X and Y at the same time? Nope. So I don't know if the scale is going to help us much. Let's hit N to pull open our jewel bar on the right here, I guess. And currently it is 2 meters in every direction. So if we would go into here and say maybe 0.5. At least it's consistent. We want a rather small spindle relative to the seat. I don't know if we're going to actually need 2 meters, but what, 2 meters is like 3 feet? Is that what what's the conversion? 2 meters, 2 feet. Am I thinking of yards? Nope. Yeah, so 6.5. So it's, yeah, it's a little bit over. So 2 meters is definitely much too large. Looking at a chair on the side here. The spindles are probably like maybe a foot. So if we do something like 0.5, that's probably a little bit more realistic. Which means we probably need to scale this down a whole bunch. Do we do that right away? I guess we maybe we just do that at the end. We'll kind of just keep it relative. So maybe if we go something like 1.5, that makes the spindle about as long as the chair, which feels about right. So move it, snap to the Z axis. So now that is kind of like a unicycle chair, right? Unispindle. It's not even quite overlapping, so let's move it up. Whoa, wrong button. G. Go up just a bit more. Whoop, 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 whoop. G. Y. G, X. I'm a little bit too far forward now. G, Y. Then let's rotate it. That's not bad. So now, how do we deal with it from here? I believe there's ways that you can do an array. And I don't think we have to drop into geometry nodes for that. It might make sense. I don't think I mean, I feel like I'm gonna want 4 feet regardless. I don't think I'm gonna want to have to change that at all. But the back of the chair, I think we maybe do the back of the chair as geometry nodes, because then we could potentially have a couple different configurations, I guess. I think it'll let us play with the configurations a little bit more. All right. Object should, and feel free to give me pointers if there's a better way to do this, but or how to do the arrays. I don't remember where the arrays are. I've definitely seen them before. And it could very well be in edit mode. Mirror. So we still have the mirror. Oh, I guess we don't have the mirror on because we're not in edit mode. So armature would be to like wire up, you know, like a model of a person that you can then do animations with. I don't know what the lattice is. Volume, metaball. Constraints. What are constraints? Oh, that's kind of nifty. You can do physics stuff. I haven't actually done it in Blender, and I don't know that I have a need to, because I think I want to do all my physics in React through Fiber and through Rapier. But we might actually do the animation stuff. The armatures, I believe, is what they would be referred to as. All right, maybe it is in edit mode. I'm not seeing anything about. We might need to pop up in Google to give us a little bit of a hand here. I don't think it's going to be in sculpting. Where is the erase? Maybe it is only in geometry nodes. I'm not seeing anything. Okay, let's go ahead and pop open Google here. Search for Blender array. I mean, array around a circle, array modifier. Maybe array modifier. That gives us the Blender model directly. I mean, this is what we want. So the question is, how do I get it to show up? Modifier. So it's an array modifier. So how do I apply a modifier. Geometry nodes is a modifier. Okay, so there's an add modifier. I know it's in here somewhere, but I don't. Oh, do we have to have this selected? Spindle? Spindle, is that spelled right? Where are the modifiers? Modifier properties. Add modifier. Here we go. Okay. We're rolling. So we have a bunch of different types of modifiers. One of which is the geometry nodes. They're considered a modifier. This is going to add a procedural operation effect to the active object. That's kind of cool. Here's our geometry nodes. I think that's going to be kind of fun to get into some of those. So let's do an array modifier. Fixed count. I guess I can do a count. That's probably fine. We want we want to do it in a radial fashion. So this is strictly going to be object offset. I wonder if it makes sense to stack. What is merge? Merge the first and the last copies. Okay. Is there a radial? It looks like we just have the one array option. We might need to like add a circle or something like that and do a fit curve. Yeah, let's look. I just want to do a radius. So I don't need to have, oh, we're still here, array modifier, fit type, curve length, count. So this is, okay, it adds a transformation tick relative to the current object to the offset. So we might actually be able to use the constant offset. Fixed count, a relative offset. Right now it's doing X. We also want to do Y. Kind of want to go a -1. Maybe just, I feel like we have to use a combination of these. -2. Like these end up basically stacking. So I don't think we want to adjust the Z. We also have to adjust like the rotation of it too, I suppose. Which it's possible that we It is good practice to use an empty object centered or near to the initial object. By rotating this empty, a circular helix of objects can be created. Oh, okay. Oh, this is actually under object offset. Okay. So maybe we can do an object offset. And if we set our object to be the seat, oh boy. Okay. Um, uh, what? That's kind of funky. All right, adds a transformation taken from an object to the offset. By rotating the empty object, you can create a circular helix of objects. I mean, that's probably fine. I think I'm gonna try this and do a relative offset. Have it be -1. And see, like, this doesn't seem like that doesn't seem like in meters. So like I'm putting 1. So the size of the geometry will determine the distance between arrayed items. So like is it multiplicative? My item here is like 0.15. So if I want to offset it by 1, that's something like 2 times 2 for like 4. So if we would say 4, it's not awful. Let's do the x first. We're going to zero this out. So give us kind of our front feet. We might actually need to remove the rotation. Is there a rotation modifier in here that we can do? Screw. Lathe around an axis, treating the input mesh as a profile. Maybe mirror is actually the thing that we want to do. Here, we're gonna take this modifier off. We're gonna do a mirror. We want to mirror the mirror object. Doesn't seem like this is actually doing it. I'd assume we would want the spindle. If we go into the seat and add a mirror, we can select that. Oh. So it is actually mirroring based off of the other objects. So I think we do want to do the seat. There we go. Okay. So by mirroring, we have a rotation this way. And if we mirror it off of this line, we're getting it the same rotation on the other side. And if we add a second modifier, can we mirror again in the other direction? So if we want to mirror off of the seat, Doesn't seem to be doing anything. I'm trying to... I don't need a merge. I want to move the legs back a little bit. So it's possible if we move, I'm guessing those mirrors are going to come with it. Yeah, okay. Look at that. Look at that. So we're mirroring off of the seat. We're applying the modifier twice. I think that gives us a pretty good result. We're going to take this, we're going to drop into edit mode. I want to also do shade smooth, because those feel like they make sense to be smooth spindles. We could probably do something a little bit more involved with those. That likely is something that you end up falling into geometry nodes. Take a round object and then like apply a profile or something to it, and that's how you can get the like fancy spindles. All right, so we've got a seat. We kind of have a stool. Now, if we do a back, we have on this edge here, we're kind of prepared for a back already. I think what we want to do is apply a curve and then use geometry nodes to do spindles or something along that curve. Probably a Bezier curve. Gonna go into edit mode. Whoop. Okay, how do I guess it's a matter of taking these points. I am pretty much like right above it now too. Let's do a move. Okay, so I'm actually editing the whole thing. Let's move it down just a bit. And now if we're gonna move it back, I kind of want that center point there, I think is like the center point of the curve. So I'm gonna put sort of that center point on what I imagine is gonna be like the back of the chair. And we're gonna go into edit mode. And I should be able to do move. Here we go. Okay, so we can move this, and then how do we move the, is it a rotate? There we go. Okay. So what we can do is I think we move this way, and I think we rotate, and then we move, and then maybe rotate just a bit more, and then we move. And I probably should have did a mirror for the other side. And we should be able to add control points. We want to add another control point. Add select. Let's extrude, make segment. Join two curves by their selected ends. No. We want to Hmm. How do you add? How do you add a segment? There's a delete segment. Separate. Separate selected points from connected. Split. Split off selected points. Recalculate handles. If I wanted to add a handle, make a segment. Nope. If I, how do I select multiple segments? So when if I'm in edit mode for the seat, it's a mesh. We get options for the meshes where you can select based on the edge or a vertice or a face. If I select my curve, I'm going to call this the backrest. So if I select my backrest and go into edit mode, you can see that the selection is different. We can pretty much just select these two radiuses, or what do they call them? Control points, I guess. Maybe it's a matter of adding an additional. It is the same one. So maybe it's a matter of adding another curve. Curve. So I did add duplicate. Does that give us? Do we have two curves there? I mean, it looks like we only still have the one. I just want a control point in the middle. I didn't think it would be that involved to make segment. So if we select all of these, subdivide. Here we go. Okay. 2 points, then you do a subdivide. There we go. So we got another control point here. And that should give us a little bit more control over moving these. I'm going to put that sort of at the middle. I think I'm going to end up adding another control point. Subdivide there. That'll let us kind of push it back a little bit. And we're going to do another subdivide. And I really should have did this symmetrically. But that's fine. All right, we'll pop out of edit mode. I think theoretically I could move that up higher. So we got about 10 minutes. Let's add a modifier to this. And we were going to do geometry nodes and see what we can knock out for geometry nodes quick here. So we want to do import our geometry. There we go. New geometry node. So we got the input and the output. If we do a primitive, I think we want a mesh primitive. We can do a cylinder. And if we well, let's worry about the cylinder for the moment. Radius, depth. I think our radius is going to be 0.15, similar to the other spindles. And that's actually a little bit radius, so it's actually half. And I think we do want to make our spindles even smaller than the other ones. So maybe we could do 0.025. That might be a little bit much. Let's do 0.3. And then we can say from our curve, let's find the points along a curve. Point. Distribute points. Distribute points on faces. No. Add a node. Maybe it's under the curves. Curve to points. So we've got a curve coming in. That'll give us a bunch of points. So on each of those points, we can say we want to distribute. So we've got 10. I'm going to do more like 6, feels like a good number. So along those points, we can say we want this spindle to appear. We want to add the, I wonder if we could just do points to the instances. So there's a few ways you can add in geometry nodes these controls. You can click and drag and just let go. And I think that pretty much is going to give you like a subset of options that are applicable to points. We can also do Shift A or click on add and you get the same menus. And this is like all of them. And I'm a little bit less familiar with the points. So I think I'm going to do this option to kind of give us some guidance on what we can do. I think this is a subset of things that work with points. So instances to points. We basically want to do like points to instances, I guess. Can we just say points? Mesh to points. Instanced on points. That feels good. Okay, so our points should go to points. Our instance should go to this. So our mesh is going to serve as our instance. An instance is out there. Hey, look at that. So we got spindles. We need to put them up a little bit. So our depth vertices, scale rotation. We're going to want to do a rotation potentially based on those points. And the height is going to be, the height's potentially going to differ based on where it is within those points. But we might not have enough time to get fancy, so we might just need to like shift these up, put a cap on them, and call it a day. And so I think some of that too we can do via the instanced index. I believe there should be a transform. Whoa. Search transform. So if we do mesh to there, geometry to there. Now if we translate it up 0.5, there we go. It's maybe point, it's going to be half the height. So I guess 1. There we go. We're going to pull that down to 1 actually, and then we'll move this to 0.5. And we've got, actually, let's do 1.5. And then change this to 0.75. That feels good. That feels good for like a chair back. Now let's see, we still have the curve. We can do another mesh from that curve. So we're gonna do mesh primitives. We're gonna do, what would make sense on top of it? Maybe a cylinder. We also want to do a transform on that. So this geometry is going to come in. Guess we don't even really need to do it based off of that. Well, we want the arc to, we want the we want this cylinder to be the same shape as our arc. That's probably the best way to say it. So how would we go about doing that? Maybe it doesn't make sense to do a separate mesh. Maybe it makes more sense to do something like a extrude of our of the arc. So we've got a curve. Can we do an extrusion of the curve? So we can do a fillet, a fill, curve to length, curve to mesh. And you can see here, we made that curve a mesh and we put it into the geometry, and now we're losing the previous geometry that we had. So we can do a combine geometry. There should be a join geometry. Here we go. And that should let us do this and get both of them. So we have a curve to mesh. Now we have a mesh. From that mesh, we should be able to do, is there an extrude on our mesh? Extrude mesh. All of those look odd. Curve to mesh would give us, so if we zoom in a bit, it's taking points along that curve and just extruding that. Maybe we don't want to do a curve to mesh. Is there an extrude fill curve? Curve to points. What else do we got? Subdivide, triangulate, scale, mesh, mesh to curve. It feels like we want to do a curve to mesh. There's a fill, fillet, subdivide. Resample, curve length, curve to mesh. Let's try a fill instead. No, I don't think that's gonna do what we want. So that's definitely not quite what I'm hoping for. I mean, maybe if we do something like a 0.1. 0.2. And then if we do a transform to move it up, and then we do another extrude. Ooh, stomach is growling. Extrude mesh. There we go. I mean, it's going to be a kind of a goofy shape, but I'm okay with that for the moment. At least it's going to look connected, and we can call it a win. I think we'll say 1.5. That should put it like right up at the top, pretty much. We do need to maybe make this just a tad bigger and move this forward in the Y direction. Maybe 0.1. Nope, 0.05. There we go. There we go. I'm kind of okay with that. I think we can work on that top a little bit. But we're sort of out of time. So this is, I think, where we're going to call it. And we're going to say this was enough of a success. We used a couple different modifiers, geometry nodes and the array modifier. Geometry nodes for the backrest, array modifier for the like spindles, I guess we called them. And then we got our seat. I'm kind of happy with this. Probably tweak a little bit of the backrest. Spindles I'm surprisingly okay with. Yeah, cool. I'm gonna call this a win. So thanks for everybody stopping by. We can probably put this in our scene. We didn't. Yeah, these are the coffee cup. Gotta drop some cups. Is it gonna work on this scene? I think it does. Yeah. So we'll end up putting them on in the scene. Those coffee cups are staying there. Go away, coffee cups. Yeah, this should knock it out of the way, I think. There we go. I'm gonna need like a command to just. I need a bulldozer that comes across. But we'll keep on tweaking it. I would call this a success. I suspect next week we are going to play around a little bit with React 3 Fiber. There's some scene modification, well, scene controls, new scene controls, I think is probably the best way to say it, that I believe are going to be out by the time next week rolls around. We might end up playing with that because those look really cool. But we just about hit on everything in Blender and React 3 Fiber that I think I've wanted to. It's just going to be working with a little bit more, improving the speed at which we can model and whatnot. So we might end up switching stream topics here. We'll see. But that's next time. So thanks for stopping by, everybody. Have a good one. Keep experimenting. Bye.